आज हमारे साथ है रॉय, जिनका नाम तो देसी है लेकिन ये विदेशी है, रॉय ज़ाल्ट्समैन। अब मैं जो कहूँगा उनको ज़्यादा समझेगा नहीं क्योंकि ये ज़्यादा इंग्लिश में बात करते हैं। सो रॉय इज़ अ मेंटलिस्ट फ्रॉम इजराइल. He has been coming to India for a long time. I remember I first met him with a friend in the lobby of a hotel, and I still remember the image I had of a foreigner is what he totally broke. He is actually a very energetic person all the time. If you meet him, you'll see he's always high on energy. He's very down to earth, although he's very tall. He's taller than me. And yet, when you meet him, you feel like, oh, you met him. It's not the first time that you're meeting him. So Roy Zaltsman. Roy, before we begin, would you show us something? Would you do some of your mentalism stuff?
Sure, definitely. So I prepared here a prediction, which I just wrote something here with this marker, and it's all with the mind. Yes, because I have here these 3 imaginary coins. It's 1 rupee, 5 rupee, and 10 rupee.
Yeah.
Can you see those coins?
Yeah.
You need therapy. There is nothing here. But let's play. Okay, so I'll mix the coins. With your right hand, take one, anyone. Which one did you take?
1 rupee.
Okay, I'm going to take one. Which one did I take?
5 rupee.
I'm going to toss it up.
Yeah.
Which side can you see here?
The heads.
So I'll put it here, 5 rupee, head side up on the table, okay?
Yeah.
5 rupee, head side up, like you said. You have 1 rupee, and there is 10 rupee.
Yeah.
Do you want me to take the 1 rupee or the 10 rupee? Which one you want me for me?
1 rupee.
So so I chose the 1 rupee, and you take the 10 rupee?
Yeah.
Is that fine?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. So let's see the outcome. You changed your mind at the last moment, and I'm going to read everything which is here.
Yeah.
Yes, but basically I chose 1 rupee. You have 10 rupee. And the 5 rupee coin remains on the table, like you said, head side up. Everything you made yourself, and you never saw that before.
No.
And I have this prediction, and I wrote here, I will choose 1 rupee, you will hold 10 rupee, the 5 rupee coin will remain on the table, head side up.
Wow. So Roy, to begin with, firstly, tell us quickly, how did you come into magic? Because if I'm not wrong, in Israel, everyone has to be in the army for some period of time, right? They have to join the army for some period of time?
Yeah,
and
but
you were in the army for some period of time. Were you a magician before that, after that, or during that, or how did you come into magic?
So I started early. I started to perform paid shows when I was 15 years old.
Oh.
I always liked magic. I always liked to see magicians.
So, sorry, why did you have to work at such a young age?
Let me explain the beginning and then I'll take
Yeah.
it. So I always liked to watch magicians. I always were drew to that on TV. We could see Paul Daniels and David Copperfield and Doug Henning. And for me, I loved it. And in Eilat, and my hometown in Israel is Eilat, a very touristic city with many hotels. So I would see magicians here and there on hotels, and it always blew my mind. I always wanted to learn that. So I always learned. But back then, I mean, in the 80s, there was no YouTube or anything you can learn online. I had to learn from books, from here and there. I always carried a deck of cards in my pocket, and I always showed magic to everyone. So I met people who showed to me things which I'm today surprised they knew that, and they taught this to me. It was really that. I growing up with my mother. She raised me by herself, so she had to work maybe 2 or 3 jobs sometimes to support. And at the age of 15, I went down the stairs of the house, the apartment, and then I saw a friend of mine sitting down outside, and he said, I have this magic kit, you want to come and see? Oh. So I don't know, he had like a really cool magic kit, and I did magic, he liked it. So we said, let's perform for your sister's birthday, which is coming soon. So we made like a show together with all the things we could do, and it was so successful. So with that energy, at the age of 15, I said, come with me, and we went to a new hotel in Eilat. And the manager of the hotel, we came to the manager and said, I want to perform at this hotel. Here, this vanishes. Here, we impressed him, and he was laughing, seeing 2 young guys, trying to impress him. And, okay, how much do you want? We asked for whatever, a small fee. And he said, you know what, I'll give you that fee, 3 shows plus lunch, okay? And it was the beginning of us, and we came with that energy. If I look back at what we've done, magic and so, it would be stupid or simple stuff. But the energy was there. By the way, this guy who performed with me back then is still a very good friend of mine, and he's a lawyer. and I'm a mentalist. It's the same profession, but I'm the positive thing. Is the
Yeah.
So yes, I had to serve the Israeli army. It was the Air Force, and it comes also for my studies. So I decided I want to learn electronics. That was the best thing I could learn, like the top of the notch. My uncle used to work for Rafael. It's a very well established they build missiles and so and stuff for the military there. And he was like an engineer, electronic engineer. So I always looked up to him. So I
Was it
wanted
to send for Mossad, your uncle?
no, no, but I wanted to learn this electronics. So I learned electronics. I also the last 2 years of study I went to a cadet school of the Air Force, and I learned in uniform, an Air Force uniform for 2 years. And then I served the Air Force 3 years. Now, what I've done, electronic countermeasures, was really cool. I learned everything I had to learn about F-16 jets and Apache helicopters. I had to know every switch and knob, and I was sitting and doing all kinds of tests and taking parts out and fix it in the lab and put it back. It was very, very important job with a lot of responsibility. Like if I'd forget a small screw or something in the airplane, this could continue to the pilot. It's like you have to sign everything you've done.
So much that you can actually assemble a plane, you are saying?
No, I was working on like electronic countermeasures.
Oh,
It was
on the
something.
electronic part. Okay.
Yeah, that was the thing. And back at that time, after the 3 compulsory years, if you could still stay in the airport and sign for extra years, then it's very well paid, a lot of benefits. You get pension at the age of 45. Most of the people, I'm 50 now, most of the people my age or that were with me stayed in the army and the Air Force, and I had to give, basically I was signed because of a top secret thing I learned and everything I had to give 2 extra years anyway. But when we reached to that point, there were too many people for the job. So the commander said, if you want me to recommend you to stay for extra years, you'll have to prove yourselves. And I said, okay, and if I just want to, finish my 3 compulsory years and that's it, they'd say, yeah, less competition for the others, you can finish. So I finished my 3 years, and the next week I established my business as a performer doing magic, which I liked before. During the army, I've done here and there, but then after I've done it in my own hometown, Eilat, in many hotels. So I went to so many hotels at that time, and I performed. I released on February 95. During I'd say June, July, August, September, I was working every day in hotels. And then I got some money and I wanted to do like the after army trip. I chose India, 95. So October 95, I came to India for the first time in my life as a backpack traveler. It was a very, very unique experience for me. And I always said, if I'll ever come to India, I'll have to do it sometime again. It was like, but in a different way.
So why did you come to India? What was the reason? What brought you to India at such a young age, or when you had the first chance?
Many people who finish the Israeli army go to the Far East, like India or Thailand or Vietnam or South America. So I chose India, and also one of the hotel entertainment managers did a very long trip in India, and he taught me so many places I can visit. So I've done it. I went to Rajasthan and all the places.
So did you also do magic at back?
Yeah, I did magic I did balloons for kids on the street. I have photos of kids in 1995 having balloon hats and stuff like this on the street. I've done magic for people on the train. They said, come to our place. Like I made so many friends just by doing that. But that was not professionally done. It was just, making friends. But then, I'd say about 10 years ago, I decided I want to perform every month somewhere in the world, perform outside of Israel. That was my goal. I actually sat in a workshop of a billionaire next to this guy, and they told, tell each other what your dream is. And I told him, I want to perform every month somewhere else. And he gave me 2 tips. He said, okay, read the book 4 Hours Work Week by Tim Ferriss, and also go to this website called Odesk, currently Upwork, to find maybe an online assistant. Many times we hear ideas, but we forget about them. I implemented the same 2 things this stranger told me the same day. I bought the book, which I liked reading, and I found someone online who can be my virtual assistant. So I found someone from the Philippines. I told her, okay, I want to start to perform in India. I felt here it's growing. Here they start liking the art. So I told her to go to all the website, found all the event planners companies you can find, and then mail them, and then schedule appointments. So I came to India for the first, like after, like 10 years ago, to meet people in Mumbai, in Delhi, in Bangalore. Two of the people I met are very good friends until today. None of the people I met ever gave me work.
Oh.
Yet, I was here and a friend of mine who was a mentalist was invited to perform for Ultratech Cement, but he didn't have the visa, but I was here, so he recommended me.
Oh.
So I came for that show, and then I spoke to the anchor and asked her, what event planning company are you working with which you can recommend to me to approach? She gave me the names and I started, calling them, coming every time I came to India.
So I think that's what you call Israeli way, right? You always say you do the Israeli way. Is that way?
The Israeli way is do it. And even in Israel, I realized that many times I came just to visit event planners. Many times I just came. Akraman. Just came.
Okay.
Hey, how about I was here in the neighborhood, how are you? And many times, so many times they said, oh, that's such a good thing you came because there is an event and I didn't think about you, but now I think it's actually a very good idea. Let me call the client and ask him. So the same happened also in India. Maybe it's not like the star quality that I go and just, meet people, but that's the human thing to do. Come, they see me eye level, I tell them what's new, I show them, I shake my hand,
Do you think it is purely because you're a good mentalist or also because you're a white guy? Gora.
You mean in India?
In India, yes.
Okay. First of all, I think it's personality. Second thing is the approach of just do it. And in India, definitely the fact I'm a Goa makes me more special immediately. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not local. If you say anything in Hindi on stage, okay, it's not impressive. But if I'll talk to someone and I say, you know what, everything I'm going to tell you now, it's exactly what I'm going to do. Jo main bolta hu, wo main karta hu. Para jo main nahi bolta, wo main definitely karta hu. And everybody will laugh and be impressed.
Yeah.
You will not be impressive saying that. You will just, saying a dialogue.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like, wow, it's super crazy.
So does this happen only in India or any other country? Apart from India?
I performed in India. If I'll say, what are the countries I performed at? I performed in the United States and several countries in Europe, in Thailand and so. But India is definitely the one I came all the time. And in the past 10 years, especially before COVID, I've been coming here almost every month. And I love it here. When I came to celebrate my 50th birthday, I didn't celebrate it in Israel. I came to India to celebrate it in my friend's bungalow here in Bandra. I brought 30 people from all over India. All my friends came and celebrated his birthday. I brought my son. He was so amazed to see I have 30 friends who came from Delhi, Bangalore, just to celebrate his birthday, right? I feel very much at home. I love India and India loves me. I think Israel and India have a very strong bond and the mentality is very kind of similar in a way. There are many Israelis whom have roots in India, Indian Israelis who came from Mumbai and Kochi in Israel. So as a kid, we would watch many Indian movies and everybody in Hebrew.
So are Indian movies big in Israel? Are Indian movies very famous in Israel?
Back then, I mean in the 70s and 80s, people didn't have so many channels, so you could see Egyptian movies and Indian movies, and everybody knows there's the song Ichikadana in Israel. Everybody knows this one.
Can you sing?
Yeah, Ichikadana, Bichikadana, Dane Upardana, Ichikadana.
Okay. No, so my question again was, like in India, as I said, you get more value as a Gora, as a white guy, as a foreigner.
Yeah.
Are there other countries where you get the similar treatment other than India?
I would say in other countries I'm also special. Yet, like I said, Indians are very warm-hearted like Israelis. Hospitality, food, hanging out. Hey, you meet a stranger and it can be your friend very fast. I reached too late for a flight and I missed the flight, and there was another guy who missed the flight. So we stayed in the coffee shop and we spoke, and until today we were very good friends. We just missed the flight. Yeah. So this happened, and there is also numerology here. You want to know? Numerology is right here.
Okay.
I'm 50.
Yeah.
And I was born on September 17. Yeah, which is the same birth date of Narendra Modi. And the same birthday as Modi ji.
Okay.
So, September 17,
Thank
yes?
God you're not into politics.
Yeah. And also September 17, 1950, like 50 is my age, is the exact day when India has acknowledged Israel as an independent state. It's numerology, right? Right there in my birthday. There you go. You cannot have more than that, right?
So, like you get more value in India. Are there people in Israel who, if they come from other countries, they get more value? Since you said India and Israel is very similar, are there like certain kind of people, if they come from outside to Israel, Israel is give them more value because they are
Definitely. There are many sentences or wise sentences out there. But for every wise sentence, there is a contradicting sentence, which is as wise. So in Israel, we have two sentences, and I had to choose one. One says, poor people of your city should come first. Okay, so it means if I'm from my city, Hadera, maybe I should go to the municipality and tell them, hey, I live in this city, I do mind reading shows, why don't you take me to be the host of that event, I'm from the city, you should treat me first. This will be one approach. The other approach I like best. It says, you cannot be a prophet in your own city. Because in your own city, everybody knows you're not special. You cannot be someone special. But when you go somewhere else, definitely you are special. And trust me, if you go anywhere else, and you've done it, and you are from India, it already sounds exotic. It's like, oh, are you know, fakir? Do you swallow fire? Do you sleep on nails? I don't know. People ask you that, right? So when I come as an Israeli to India or other countries, people see me, you know, like, oh, different. And definitely in India, when people in India appreciate the fair skin, the goa, they look up to it in a way, I don't know, but I feel, you know, people like, already, you know, I feel different. And you have the same words in all Asian countries. In China, it's angmo. In Thailand, it's farang. India, gora. You see, you have a word for the white man, okay? It's history thing that happened, but there is like an appreciate, I would say, for the first people.
So in India, we have magicians like P.C. Solkar, K. Lal, who are really famous. Like for generations, people have heard their name, and they're looked up to as like great magicians. Do you have similar magicians in Israel?
For magicians, we have a magician duo called Chico and Dico. It's a father and son. Chico and Dico. And they've been doing...
Name, actually,
Chico and Dico, yeah. And today people would refer to them in a fun way, but they've been doing these illusions and magic, you know, on a TV show when there was only one channel since the 80s.
Oh.
And they were very famous at that time. They also been branded with a chocolate company or whatever. They were big when I was, you know, young guy. And Dico, the father, has a magic store until today. Chico lives somewhere else now, but back then in the 80s they were big, so people can remember them. Besides that, people can remember very well Uri Geller. Uri Geller, not a magician as a mentalist or a psychic, but he was there in the 70s and he was something different and he was big and he made it also big outside of Israel. Once again, he couldn't be a prophet in his own city, he had to go somewhere else. So he went to the United States, they received him okay. He went to England, and in England they believe in that occult. They believe in haunted houses. They believe in all of that. So for them it was a blast. And he lived in England for so many years, and only in the last decade he came back to Israel.
So those who don't know Uri Geller, look him up. Uri Geller is the guy who actually claims he has powers, or he used to claim that he has powers. He bends spoons and I think he makes other objects move with his mind power. That's what he claimed.
Yeah.
Right, that's a Uri Geller, right? And now he's very big.
Yeah.
And today he's also a judge for a show in Israel. He was a judge for a mentalism show.
There was the next Uri Geller show that was invented in Israel, and then it happened in many countries. So they always selected the best mentalists in different countries, and they've done a contest. And then he was also a judge in Israel Got Talent, like you have India Got Talent, you had Israel Got Talent, and I've been on that show as well. And because I was very influenced by India, on that show I did walking bare feet on broken glass like an Indian fakir. So I always had on my mind this image how to look spiritual, because on stage usually I look more commercial, but I wanted to be on this show looking like spiritual, meditating, and I've done.
So on those lines, how different do you think is the audience of India and Israel? Like, how different are they? Or India and other countries, like the belief factor in magic. There are a lot of Indians who actually believe that real magic exists, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think happens outside India, where all the different countries you have been to, including Israel?
Yeah.
Are people similar? Are people similar who want to believe that magic exists, or
I'd say maybe this is how I perceive it. I perceive it that Indians are more believers, maybe more naive. Also, they're more spiritual because Indians would go to the pandit and do this ceremony and break the coconut and put a string and do all of these things, which also in Israel we have it. It's more connected to religion, yeah. But in India, it's beyond religion, it's spirituality, it's a way of life. So people are more open up for that. So, and there are also gurus who do all kind of things, and people believe in them because they are the gurus. They are the as big as God almost, right? We don't exactly have that in Israel. So in India, people are more open to experience that, and without me saying anything, they'll believe.
so? You've been also if I'm not wrong, you began as a magician, right? Like doing actual magic with the props and stuff, and now you're a mentalist, right?
Yeah.
Now you do purely mentalism shows.
I've done kids shows, I've done close-up, I've done illusions, I've done everything. But at the age of 27, I decided to focus only on mentalism.
Why was that?
And drop everything else.
The reason?
First of all, I left Eilat. Eilat was my hometown. I performed in hotels. I've done kids shows, close-up, everything I've done it. And I was going from hotel to hotel to perform every day. 4 months a year, I had 7 gigs a day. It was crazy. It was crazy. And then this industry changed in Eilat for worse. And I realized that I cannot go on over this way. I cannot stay this way. So if I want to promote myself, I'd better leave my hometown and move to
go to another town.
Exactly. But also I had to burn the bridge behind me. What is burning the bridge behind me? It's something the Romans used to do. Burn the bridge behind you, you cannot go back.
No, I can't go back.
I sold all my equipment. People call me, can you do a show? I'm sorry, I don't have anything. I cannot do a show. so I just I had to force myself to change to mentalism, which is based on different things. For magic show, it's visual, it's props, it's sleight of hand. Mentalism, it's all about communication. If I have to do a mentalism right now show and I have nothing else, I just go to the stationery store, buy a few things, papers, pens, markers, and I can do a show. It's because of knowledge, it's because of communication, because of psychology. It's less visual, it's less eye candy, but it is very strong because it's direct. And I have an analogy for it. Have you seen the movie The Professional, Leon? The Professional, yeah, with Jean Reno and Natalie Portman. So during this movie, he takes her to the roof with a sniper's gun, and he tells her this is a beginner's weapon. The more professional you are, the closer you get to the target. So when you are really professional, you kill your target with a knife or bare hands. That's mentalism. For illusion, you have to be on the show, far away, with assistants, smoke and mirrors, right? For cards, you need to have cards. But when I come to mentalism, it's just me and you right here, right there. So for me, it's also being more professional, I would say. Everything is good, but I have a wide range of everything now. I can do everything I want at any given time.
So do you also say that do you claim that you have powers like Yuri Geller, or is it all science? Or
No, I don't claim anything. I just come on stage and I just do my show and always try to make it relevant to the event.
With all your experience as a magician, begin from restaurants, doing small shows to become a very successful mentalist, like you're going to different countries, mostly India. What advice would you give to Indian youngsters, magicians, if they really want to get into magic? What should they do? Should they get into magic or not as a profession? And finally, if they do, how do they go about it? What do you think should a magician do?
I'd say if you have passion for magic, definitely learn it. Today it's so easy. It's actually too easy. You have so much variety of things you can learn from. So you have to be very judgmental. Learn as much as you can, but then hate most of what you've seen. There are so many variations of the same thing. Hate whatever doesn't suit you. Take the one which you really like and really build on that. Like I saw this effect with a lock on a video somewhere, which nobody would ever use, but just with a small twist, it became like a signature act now. It suits my personality so much because I hate to be all the time right in the show. In this act, I'm being very wrong, and this very wrong takes me until the end of the show being wrong, and only at the very end it solves. And I love it. So people even when I've done it for magicians, they believed I blew up. Like I really ruin the effect. But
As a mentalist, do you think mentalists make people more gullible? Because as a mentalist, you're portraying that you can actually read minds, or you can actually control minds, or you can actually do things with your mind which are like supernatural. So when the audience watches it, they might believe uh, things like these things actually exist. That people can actually do this with their mind. Do you think mentalists are responsible to make the audience more gullible, more uh,
everything you do, when you have whatever knowledge and expertise in something, you have to decide how you're going to use it. More ethical, less ethical. And so with these powers, okay, or abilities or knowledge or expertise, I choose my choice. I don't claim anything. I choose to bring people back to their childhood. And a child sees something and is simply amazed. You see, it's like, a child? And the more we grow, less things really keeps us amazed. So my job is to come for 1 hour, and these people now, take them out of their daily life, put them in a whole different mindset, and connect them back to this childhood moment of, that's my job. And of course, convey messages if it's a corporate event, or let them get out with some thoughts, maybe read more about it, maybe let it run in their mind. What if I can read mind? What if maybe they can use their intuition to gain more success in life? Why not? But I don't put it in a way when it's me, the almighty powerful guy, and that's it. I'm not trying to get anything out of it. Some people learn magic and mentalism to get more girlfriends, or to, I don't know, hustle people, whatever.
you did that when you were young?
Still doing it.
Since I've met you, since the day I have met you, I've seen you're always in high energy, like which I think is very difficult. You're not always high in energy or only on stage, but in general, in life, you're always excited about things happening. Like if I'm not wrong, you almost stay at the same hotel in Mumbai many a times. Your favorite hotel where you stay and enjoy, and yet you're excited to go there and stay there and eat, have food, or meet people there. How do you keep up the energy? What advice would you give for people to keep that energy? How do you keep yourself interested in everything for such a long time?
So I always try to fall in love again with what I do.
Well, if there's a question, is it just you that you have so much of energy, or all Israelis from your country, all they have high energy usually compared to?
I don't know, and I don't think that always I have high energy. Even before I came here and I sat aside, I felt like all my energy dripping down. Yesterday I took some blessings of the old monks, so today I woke up like this. So I had to kind of rest aside when I was waiting. And back then, an hour ago, my energy was zero. But after I took a little bit rest and had a chai, my energy came back. So it's not always high.
And before we end, I would like you to say a certain, whatever you know in Indian language, whatever lines you say. Can you say a few of those?
Yeah, of course. I learned many dialogues from movies because I actually use it in my show. So, but I think the fun thing I used ever, real time, is when I came to the airport. I took a flight from Delhi to Mumbai, and the police officer at the entrance looks on my passport, and he looks at me and he says, Zaltsman. And I told him, Naam to sunai hoga. And I just went in, and he started laughing. You'd see police officers standing out laughing. I just came in. It was so good.
And on stage, what's your favorite dialogue in Indian dialogue?
Joma bolta hua, like it. I said things. Once again, I use things whenever I can that makes sense. Okay, I just say Hindi. It should make sense. It should be part of what I'm doing. Yeah. So I use the katapane bahubali ko kyun mara, and crime astagogo name mera, anke nikal kar gotia kelta hu. And anytime there will be a guy coming to the show, and what is your name? And he'll say Daya. Immediately I'll say Daya, darwaza tordo. So I'll always find a way to use it in a fun way, where people will appreciate not the fact that I know Hindi, that actually I made it in such a way it makes sense. A guy, I have maybe 3 women put their hands here to concentrate, do something, and then I say, oh, this guy is so happy. See, Mugambo, Kushwa. So I'll use that all the time.
Nice, nice. So thank you, Roy, and I hope everyone will enjoy the diversification that you have shown us about magic and the countries and stuff, and hope to see you again with us, hopefully in a very short time.
Definitely.
Thank you.